Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back to Hawk My Balls. I could have picked a better way to open that video. I could have said anything else. But anyway, here we are with the 20th anniversary remix of Circle-Rombed-Oxygen, Hawkma's theme from Lobotomy Corporation by Tilarids, who showed up almost a whole 2 years after I uploaded my original reaction and was like, yo, I did the thing. And I couldn't think of a better way to give this the eyes it deserves. Most likely, I haven't heard it yet. And like, let you guys all know that this exists by just doing a video on it. So by all means, I'm going to be doing my reaction, but please go like pay attention to the original. The link's always going to be in the description. I think that it's cool that Tilarids was like, hey, I remember that this guy did a fucking thing. Let's throw it at him and see what he says. I'm still going to be giving my opinion. Of course, it's not really going to change anything there. I just won't have much to say about the rest of it, given what I already know about the song and what I've already said. Regardless, let's listen to this. Without further ado, let's go. I also did re-listen to it because it's been a while since I've heard the original. So it's like fresh in my brain. Is it just me, or does this already sound like it's got a little bit more distortion in the beginning? That might be me. It has been a few minutes since I listened to the original. My brain do be forgetting. I'm really curious just to see what 20 years does to an atmospheric composer. I don't think I've ever heard a gap of time like that for a composer like this. A little bit more punch to it already. We're barely in here. But where's it gonna go, though? That's always the question. Like, how is it gonna change? Is it gonna be more subtle? Ooh, ooh. Is it possible to be more spooky than the original one? Apparently, yes. Man, sound design game, absolutely on point. Oh. This is an interesting direction to take it. Ooh. Ooh. Got some of that in my mouth, I think. Ooh, that was different. Yeah, this is notably different. I wasn't sure how different it was gonna be, but he's really taken different avenues on this one. And none of them in a bad way. Not even close. I love where he's adjusting to the new sound of this, you know, like his new sound. It almost sounds like a blast beat going on. Maybe there is a blast beat in there, like the just. It's really far back in the mix. It sounds more like static, like a sample. That was pretty metal. Maybe it was a blast beat hidden in there. Cranking up the adrenaline. I assume this has to be near the end by this point. Also, an interesting visualizer. I love the idea of this being the visualizer. That's really cool. Like, was that a pressure gauge? Is that what that? It could be a few things. I'm assuming a pressure gauge, though. All right, so I was going to give my opinion off the cuff, but I think that Tilarids put it into words probably better than I could, honestly. In the description, he says, and I quote here, I'll put it up on screen, of course, 20 years later, this is not a tribute, it's an extraction, a corrupted echo from a forgotten system still running somewhere in the dark. I love that as a descriptor of what this song is. It's what it feels like, because the original has its energy to it, but there's something much more present about how that sound design worked. It feels a lot more of that specific time, and this feels truly like it was completely redone, and it was something, like he said, kind of extracted from the ground, like it was uncovered in Chernobyl or something. It's just like, Jesus Christ, how long has that been buried underneath who God knows what? That's such a cool sound to go for, especially for somebody like Tilarids who already exists in that like atmospheric sound design corner of music, and it just, you know, like, let's make it more exaggerated. Let's bring it back and make it sound more haunted, like I was feeling when I heard the song. I was like, this feels so much darker. But at the same time, it wasn't like an angry dark either. It sounded a little bit more haunting, not necessarily like an aggression behind the track. Whereas I think that might have been a little bit more present in the original one. It sounded a little bit more like upbeat and heavy paced. And that did creep in near the end there with like that last couple of measures, how it was like building up that pressure. That makes a lot more sense. And just again, the whole corrupted echo from a system long buried makes so much contextual sense for what it was. And even if you were to put it into the context of Lobotomy Corporation, that feels so right, knowing what we know now about Limbus Company. And I don't think that that was going to be like a factor of this song at all. I feel like Tilarids was like, I'm going to make this song whatever I wanted it to sound like, and that'll be what it is. And I'm glad he did that. I don't think he like took Limbus Company and the lore of the Project Moon stuff and like injected that in here at all, but it works surprisingly well. Knowing what we know about Lobotomy Corporation, what it was, even the library and what it became, and what Limbus Company is and the city is, you know, like that fits too well. So part of me does kind of wonder if Tilarids didn't do that, but I also feel like maybe his approach as an artist is just that similar intrinsically to the DNA of Project Moon. And that's why it ended up sounding this way. And that's so cool. I fucking love that. Again, regardless whether or not that was intended, it fits in that context a little too well. And I love the energy that this one had. I was concerned when it started. I was like, okay, well, this sounds a little bit more distorted, but not necessarily different, I would say. But then it just kept going and things started, it was almost like you were like taking off the dirt on top of the mound, and like the more of the body of this thing that you uncovered, you're like, man, there's more to this than I expected. And by the time that it was fully uncovered, the adrenaline is turning up and that's starting to get your heart going. And that's where the song was like, that thing, it's like it opened its eyes and it's looking right the fuck at you, not past you. It knows who you are, where you've been, and it's wondering why you didn't show up earlier to like dig it out before. It's spooky in that way. There is that adrenaline that comes with that, but damn Tilarids, that's really cool. I personally, this was also in the description, if we want to see more or hear more of these like old tracks redone, reimagined in the new Tilarids way, which is still surprisingly similar to the old way, but again, just refined. The new sound that Tilarids has, you can feel that there's a lot more years of experience under the tone of this one compared to the original. As fun as that one is, as good as that is on its own, you can just tell that there's years of lived experience in this genre and messing around with those atmospheres and making things sound the way that they do now. And I want to see more, personally. I would love to hear more of these and of this sound. So I'm hoping that Tilarids is watching this, considering that they're the one who asked for it technically in the comments. So either way, I'm interested in hearing more. I hope a bunch of people in the comments of this video are interested in hearing more, and they go to the comments. If you're watching this, go to the comments on Tilarids' video and give him some love. Let him know we want to hear some more of the OG tracks here. This would be awesome to hear more of them in this new age way. I feel like this is kind of like when you get a remake of a game that like came out 20 years ago and you're just like, whoa, they're not just 2D anymore. It's like 3D. It's kind of like the Pokemon remakes in a way where it's just like, man, I remember playing this when I was a kid. Oh, it's all in 3D now. Oh shit. That looks kind of cool. I just wish they would spend more on actual models and animations, but that's irrelevant. Nintendo can fuck themselves. Still, I love this. I want to hear more of this and this sound. This is cool. So that's about all I got to say on this one. Thank you all so very much for watching. Like I said, leave the comments down below. Go to Tilarids' video, leave some comments there. Let him know that the community is still strong for sure. Lord knows I know that they're still strong. So go do that. And otherwise, if you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.